Good morning, my name is Joe Malorba from Remax Coast and Country.
And I'm Jeff Kishora with Home Point Financial.
Today we're going to discuss something we're seeing more and more. The market has been picking up the last few months, and what that means is not only do we have a lot more buyers actively participating in the market and the market ticking upwards, but a lot of sellers are finally in that position where they're ready to buy their dream home, they're ready to move up in price range or size, and so they're getting ready to put their house on the market and sell, but not only are they ready to sell, they're ready to purchase something else. And as Jeff and I discussed, buying and selling in the same day can be a very high stress
situation. And really what we mean by that is you set up simultaneous closings, so the closing for the home you're selling and the closing for the home that you're buying happen back to back within an hour of each other on the same day.
Yeah, yeah.
So logistically, and actually we'll get back to the logistically comment later, but what is one of the first things that you would recommend to a seller if you're representing the seller on the sale of their home as well as on the buy side?
So if you can purchase a home without selling your home, I think that's a strong move. And there's a couple reasons why. One, when you put an offer with a Hubbard clause, which means you have to sell your home in order to buy the next house, you really don't have a whole lot of negotiating power because it's still contingent on the sale of your home. So you're taking away some of your A, negotiating power, and B, you're going to end up spending a little bit more on the house or having terms that aren't as acceptable to you. Two, because now once you are under contract, the purchase of your home is contingent on the sale of on the buyers moving forward, your buyers on your home, sale of your house going through. If something happens with the buyer on your home's financing, it can also delay your closing, which it creates a domino effect. And so if you already have moving trucks ready and you already have closing scheduled and that gets delayed for some reason, it can cause some frustration among all the parties. So to that end, Jeff and I have come up with a few little suggestions as you do this, because it is a real world, everyday scenario, and we want to share them with you together.
Okay. So, and just to touch on and elaborate on that a little bit, from a financing perspective, typically pre-approval is one of the first things you do.
Absolutely.
So establishing whether or not you need to sell in order to buy is the first step without question. And that's what Joe just said.
Sure.
And then determining if you need to sell and buy, which would have the simultaneous same-day closings, what type of program, what type of down payment is going to be required for the new property? Are there going to be reserves? Are there not going to need to be reserves for the financing? So getting the financing in place and making sure that you've established the direction you're going to head is probably one of the most important things you'll have in the very beginning of that process.
And if your mortgage officer is any good, and he goes through everything with you, he'll get an idea of what you owe on your property, what you'll look to net from your property when you sell it, how much money will be left over, and whether or not you can take that money to go on vacation, or you should be anticipating using that money towards your next down payment. It will also familiarize you a little bit more with the different financing types because you will be getting offers on your home.
So now we have financing in place, we know which direction you're heading. What is the first topic for you of discussion with somebody that's looking to sell their house and buy in the same day?
So super, super important. You need to price your house to sell. You need to price it according with comps and price it aggressively. And there's two real reasons for this. One, homes that are priced aggressively get more activity. The market is efficient. So if you price your home aggressively to sell, you're going to get more people through the door, you're going to get more ultimate offers, and you're going to end up getting still a great price, I think. However, if you overprice your home, or you think that for some reason your Taj Mahal bathroom adds $50,000 to your home value in a $200,000 neighborhood, then your house is going to sit on the market, and you're going to end up not selling your house or getting somebody that isn't as qualified other ways. So to that effect, as you're going to sell your house, you want to have the most qualified buyer that buys your house. Because it will put you in the best position when you're ready to buy the next house. Ideally, you want to have a buyer that's very motivated, loves your house and neighborhood, and really wants to go now. And even more ideally, they have some money to put down and aren't there to nitpick through every detail of your home.
Okay, so actually, let me interrupt you there. So, getting back to the financing portion of it, for the person that's going to be buying the home that you're selling, last week we talked about multiple offer situations. Let's say you get into a multiple offer situation, you priced the house right,
Yes.
you staged it well.
Yes.
When you're on the real estate agent side, advising your client or presenting all of the offers, I assume that you're there to give advice as well.
Yes.
Although I don't know the legal ramifications of that, but you are presenting all of the offers. What are you considering with respect to that, the offers?
Sure. So, as they always say in real estate, offers, terms are as important as price. And by terms, I mean how quickly is the buyer looking to close? How qualified are they? How much money are they putting down? And what type of financing are they going to get? So somebody may have an 800 credit score with $500 million in the bank and be very motivated to buy your neighborhood, but still want to get USDA type financing where they're not putting their own money into the deal. That might be perfectly fine. But we need to make sure of those things. Somebody may be looking to put a conventional financing down. With conventional financing, the banks aren't as strict about condition. So if you happen to have some peeling paint around the window, you happen to have some chip tiles in the bathroom, or you happen to have something that might need a little bit of work, banks are a lot more forgiving than on a VA loan or a USDA loan. So with those terms, more money down does typically mean a stronger buyer. There's more to it than that, and buyers will sometimes write buyer love letters that help their offer show a little nicer. But I'm looking at, if I was looking at two identical offers, one's conventional, one's 100% financing, I think that the conventional offer is going to have a better chance to close, all things considered.
Yeah, and I think just, I'm a consumer as well as being in the mortgage sales environment. And I would say that just a personal opinion is anybody who has skin in the game, conventional loans typically require more of a down payment than any of the government loans. So if you have more skin in the game, you're more committed to the process, more serious a buyer, or at least that's what I would think, just from a personal opinion standpoint.
Absolutely. And in some scenarios, when I'm representing the buyer, or in a multiple offer situation, I will tell them, why don't we put down 2 deposits? Why don't we put down your initial deposit and put down some additional money after we get through the home inspections? This allows the seller to know that we're a little bit more serious about our offer. So when you have multiple offers, conditions are very important. And if you're going to price your house aggressively, then it will help you to get multiple offers so that you can put yourself in a better position moving forward. The second thing I really wanted to talk about is as we are getting ready to put your home on the market so that you can buy a bigger, nicer home or move out of the area and you can sell your current home, I think one of the first things you really need to address is to declutter your home. You need to get rid of, you need to purge. You need to purge your home.
Yeah.
As we live in a home, and especially as we live in a home long term, we get a lot of stuff we just don't use. We get a lot of stuff we're attached to, but doesn't actually have a natural value.
Like we were talking about before, I sold a house a couple of years ago, actually 2.5 years ago, and I was shocked. I filled, I think, a 10 or 20 yard dumpster just filled with stuff I don't use, and all the stuff that made it to the new house, I still haven't opened 50% of the boxes that are sitting in my basement that I could probably purge and fill another
Dumpster.
Yeah. So it's absolutely amazing, but so important because the house shows better when there's less clutter as well.
Absolutely. Yep. So this serves a twofold purpose. One, you're going to pay less to move all your things. Two, your home needs to be staged in order for it to show the best. You need to get rid of all your pictures on the wall of you and your kids at the beach or you and your lover on vacation, and all your knickknacks need to be down, and the home needs to be shown neutrally. It needs to be shown very nicely with decorative taste, but you really need to not have your personal touch as much on the home anymore. You're looking for somebody to come into your home and dream about it being their home. So the less of your stuff that you have there, the better it shows. And the more we depersonalize it, the better it shows. So, to reiterate, when you're getting ready to sell your home, figure out what your finances look like. Figure out if you need to sell your home, if that's the most important thing. If that's the most important thing that you do need to sell your home, price it aggressively. Price it so that you're going to get more activity on it. Hopefully you'll get more offers if the agent knows what they're doing. And by getting more activity and more offers, you're going to end up getting still a very good price. When you're getting ready to get your house ready for the sale, declutter. Get rid of all the stuff that you just don't need. If you have a hammock that's been sitting in your garage for 5 years and you haven't put it up, throw it away, give it away, get rid of it, purge all that stuff.
Dumpster.
I also think it's helpful if you do have a bunch of things that you do need, but seasonally, and you're not in that season, it might be important for you to get a storage locker somewhere and put away the snowblower in the middle of May that you're not going to be using, put away a bunch of the tools that you're not going to be using for this. It will help the house show better. You want the house to show as well as possible.
Yeah.
Additionally, when you do have multiple offers, stronger financing would in a lot of ways be worth considering a slightly lower offer, because it might get you a better chance of getting to the closing table with less headaches. And I have seen sellers specifically ask buyers to work with a lender that they trust rather than the one they're already working with, so that they have a better feel for where that buyer is coming from. And as you're getting ready to move towards your closing date, understand that these dates, again, are more like due dates, not like birth dates. They're not set in stone. So there will be slight minor fluctuations. Don't let that stress you out. If you're working with an experienced lender and realtor, they will get you to the closing table. It just might not be quite as simple as just buying it.
Yeah, especially if one's contingent upon another. I see it all the time where the domino effect, I mean, could affect 5 different transactions because people are selling, people are buying, people are selling, people are buying, and
Right.
it's there's a lot taken into account when you
Right.
have multiple
Absolutely.
scenarios going on within the same transaction.
And it'd be helpful if you had somebody that's been through it before,
Yeah.
over somebody that just got their license or somebody that really kind of practices part-time on the lending or the real estate side.
Yeah.
They're not going to have the experience to get you through that stressful situation. But until next week, I'm Joe Malorba with Remax Coast and Country.
And I'm Jeff Kishore with Home Point Financial.